Now, we'll find out more about little Eddie's childhood and lots more stars tonight. So keep your eye on the home movies and photos you're about to see and try to guess who these kids grew up to be. Like the next two little California girls. Do you know who they are? Check it out. It was in the wealthy city of Beverly Hills that this future star first entered the world. The year was 1946, and this baby had it made in the shade and the sun. She was born into a show business family, the daughter of one of the most famous and richest entertainers in the world. He was the star of radio, TV, and movies, Edgar Bergen. Her name? Candace Bergen. And although she had it all, she sometimes felt like the forgotten kid sister of dummy Charlie McCarthy. I better knock on wood, baby. Candace had the kind of life every kid dreams about. She grew up in a 90210 zip code. This home movie of her second birthday shows her dad didn't mind dipping into his wallet. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? With show business in her blood, Candace was always performing around the house. Hey, nice moves. And with achievements like being elected May Queen her senior year of high school, Candace came out from under the giant shadows of Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. Because of her talent and hard work, any list of Hollywood's winners has to include the name Candace Bergen. Do you recognize this beach girl? Well, here's a clue. She made a big splash as TV's favorite surfer girl. Of course, as a little girl growing up in Southern California, she always had a natural love of the water. Ooh, look at that confidence. Check out that style. She's definitely got what it takes. Did her mother ever think that one day her little girl would go on to win 2 Oscars? At an early age, you could already see the familiar smile that would make her a star. The oldest of 3 children, she became the image of successful women on screen and off. You like her, you really like her. It was a California dream come true for everyone's favorite flying nun, Sally Field. There you go. I like that. Sally Field. You know, this show wouldn't be possible without the cooperation of the stars themselves. Not only did they give us their home movies and photos, they helped us find other family members, teachers, and friends from their old neighborhoods. Now, we'll be meeting a lot of those people tonight and pick up some juicy little stories along the way. And speaking of old neighborhoods, when people hear that Sylvester Stallone was born in New York, right away they think he's a street kid from Brooklyn or Hell's Kitchen. Now, you never hear Sylvester deny that story, do you? Maybe because that tough street thing is good for his image. But hey, that's why they call him Sly. Yo, Adrian!
New York City, 1946. A poor Italian kid fights for his life, rising above the mean streets to become an overnight phenomenon.
This town is a losing town.
It's the stuff Hollywood is made of.
Miserable town.
Too bad it's just not true.
Well, our upbringing was more like Leave It to Beaver. It wasn't New York. It wasn't, you know, Brooklyn. I mean, I've had people come to me on the street and say, "Hey, Frank, didn't you go to school in Brooklyn?" I said, "I've never been to Brooklyn. I don't even know where it is."
The boys were raised on the country sunshine of a Maryland farm. Later, when a divorce split the family, Mom moved the children to a quiet suburban Philadelphia neighborhood.
We all rode bikes to school. I mean, when I was a kid, you would see like hundreds of bicycles parked at the local school, and you know, it was riding bikes to school, the good humor, man, everything that you would think. I'll never forget, my father brought a brand new Buick Roadmaster. We're sitting in the house, and all of a sudden we just hear this clank, clank, metal against metal. I mean, loud. My father comes out, he says, "What the heck is going on?" My brother thought he was doing a good deed. He was beating flies off my father's new car with a hammer. Did not go over big.
For the Stallones, the local school was Catholic, but the rambunctious Sly preferred the playgrounds to the church grounds.
He was a rascal, yeah. He used to get in trouble. He was very hyper and get in mischief. You know, we watched TV, thought he was Superman, jumped off the roof and broke both his collarbones. He was into like Steve Reeves. He was like in the Hercules movies. I mean, he credits Steve Reeves for actually being who he is today.
But the teenage Sly became more than his mom could handle.
Sylvester went to Charlotte Hall Military School. He'd gone to the military school before that in Virginia. I think he had the world's record in the school's history for demerits, marching around the bull ring. But anyway, lo and behold, he got bounced out of the school. He was asked not to come back because he was a troublemaker.
Not for long. While Frank Stallone went on to Grammy nominations, his brother began the long climb to stardom. A climb that ended at the top for an unruly boy with sad eyes named Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, don't go away. We've got Madonna as a baby and Bruce Willis as a class clown. When stars were kids.
This high school actor went on to star in television and movies with a special flair for comedy roles. His classmates remember him as a great friend and companion, a trait he puts to use as an actor. Do you think it's Jim Belushi, John Lovitz, or Jason Alexander? We'll find out when Stars Were Kids returns.
Here in Ohio, we tested the new Honda Accord V6 and discovered that the car more people buy than any other is now better and quicker than ever before. Now, why would you want a car that lets you get away so fast?
You're late.
You've got your reasons. The new Accord V6 from Honda.
Dear Tylenol, thank you for inventing a medicine that doesn't taste like one.
Matthew no longer cries, screams, and hides when it's time to take it.
Nothing compares to your new bubblegum flavor.
Moms tell us relieving fevers has never been easier, thanks to Children's Tylenol Bubblegum Suspension. Its unique formula coats the medicine with a richer, thicker taste, so it's easier for kids to take, and it's easier on their parents, too. Children's Tylenol Suspension, the first choice of pediatricians.
Years ago, I looked like that. Then I lost 40 pounds in 4 months on the Ultra Slim Fast plan. The best news is I've kept it off. It hasn't always been easy, but I eat sensibly and start almost every day with a delicious Ultra Slim Fast shake. For me, it's the best breakfast. It gives me as much protein as this, as much calcium as this, and as much fiber as 4 bowls of Special K, plus 19 essential vitamins and minerals. So come on, lose weight and feel great with the Ultra Slim Fast plan. It's America's healthy way to lose weight.
On an all-new Mad About You, Paul needs help from a TV legend.
You trip over the arm.
The Dick Van Dyke Show's Alan Brady.
You I like.
Then John Lovitz on an all-new Friends.
Hey.
Caught stealing the gummy bears?
Well, smack my and call me Judy.
And we can't tell you what this top-secret all-new Seinfeld's about.
What is so funny?
But we can say it's called The Kiss. Hello.
Well, how do you do?
Plus a bonus Seinfeld, followed by an all-new ER, NBC Thursday.
Tom Clancy, the author of Hunt for Red October and Clear and Present Danger, presents his newest bestseller on NBC, Tom Clancy's Ops Center, 1 week from Sunday.
Welcome back to When Stars Were Kids.
Who was that budding young actor? Jim Belushi, John Lovitz, or Jason Alexander? You're right if you guessed Jason Alexander. We'll be seeing more of Jason in just a few minutes.
I like this. You know, when I was a kid, I guess I could have tried acting in movies or commercials. Instead, I did this, just swinging. I can't believe the big bucks I lost doing this stuff. The teeter-totter alone probably cost me a couple of $100,000. Our next two kids were big child actors, but we're not going to show you their early roles or the first big break seen by millions. Nah. We're going to show you things only their families were meant to see. Somebody push me.
when stars were kids on a roll. See if you can recognize these distinguished alumni. Johnny Carson, Paul Newman, Carol Burnett, Neil Diamond, Burt Reynolds, and Jacqueline Smith.
You know, a lot of stars' careers started backstage at the school auditorium, but not mine. The only acting I did in school was when I forgot my homework. Please forgive me, Miss Wilson, but I didn't do my homework because my grandmother died. Now, Mark Carey, please. Now, this is the 6th time your grandmother has died this month. I'm sorry, I come from a large family. Thank you, thank you. No pictures, please, no autographs. But I was nominated for an Oscar in geometry. But some kids are just born for the stage, like the star who plays Jerry Seinfeld's best friend. Check it out.
Why can't I just walk up to a woman on the street and say, "Hi, I'm George. How are you?" Is that so terrible?
Most of America knows him as George. But where he grew up in the quiet town of Livingston, New Jersey, in this upper middle class home, the folks here remember him as a nice, funny teenage boy named J. Scott Greenspan.
Jay was just like a big teddy bear, you know? He was just like the big brother, the little brother, the friend, the companion, the fun, the funny, the sad, the loving, the warm, the kind. He was everything in one person.
If you wanted to spot the future Jason Alexander, all you had to do was make your way to the school auditorium. It was there, as a scene in this exclusive 1970s home video shows, that Jason got the hands-on acting experience that would later catapult him into stardom.
It wasn't like Jay was going to be a teacher of acting. Jay was going to be anything but an actor. I knew that. His parents knew it. Everybody who knew him knew it. That's what Jay was going to do.
So this is show business.
Nabbing the leads in every production, 16-year-old Jay Greenspan was a superstar of the high school stage.
There was something special, something unique, something extraordinary, something very different about his talent. He just seemed very much at home, very comfortable, very much at ease, very poised on the stage. It was almost as if it was a second home to him.
But Jason Alexander's first big hit performance wasn't on the high school stage at all. In fact, it was in the Temple.
He considers his first professional gig to be his bar mitzvah at the age of 13. And why? Well, because when he was bar mitzvahed, even though he was doing it in a slightly strange language for him, he would perform. He would get money. And after the gig was over, people would applaud and congratulate him and say how good he was.
And it was Cantor Corbman who had the pleasure of teaching the coming-of-age ceremony to this budding young actor.
I think it was the only time that we had a ham in the Temple.
From ham to heartbreaker, this suave 16-year-old also had a mushy side.
He was very romantic. He would send me flowers. He would bring me flowers. I remember sitting on his bed and kissing with the door closed and wondering, is his mother going to walk in here, or is she going to knock on the door? I'm too embarrassed. This is ridiculous. We can't do this. And we kissed, and it was nice. Good kisser.
Jay Greenspan, the teenage Romeo, the actor, the teddy bear. He's all grown up and very much a Hollywood star named Jason Alexander. This future piano man perfected his art while he was still young, often sitting in with musicians 5 and 6 times his age. Even at the age of 10, he had them screaming in the aisles. Is it Harry Connick Jr., Billy Joel, or Barry Manilow? You're right if you guessed Harry Connick Jr.
All right. Did you ever have a laundry basket like this in your house? You never used it for laundry, and every time you had to look for something, you had to empty out the whole basket. Wait a minute, what was I looking for? Oh, yeah, the basket. Oh. Anyway, look, I was a pretty fair athlete growing up, but our next star was a great one. Watch him as a 6-year-old and see if you can spot the moves that took him to the top of his sport.
When I was 6 years old, I would sit in front of my TV set and I would watch every single point that was televised. I used to pretend I was whoever I was watching. I would sit there and I would say, this is match point, and if I win this point, I win Wimbledon.
You want to be a tennis player when you get big?
Yes.
How long have you been playing tennis?
I don't know.
Andre, how do you like the game of tennis?
Fine.
Who taught you tennis?
My dad.
Following the course his father set, this young man showed a skill and determination far beyond his years. His name? Andre Agassi. The dreams of both father and son came true in the emotional finale of the 1994 U.S. Open.
Andre Agassi on the brink of his first U.S. Open title.
Up, we'll have some laughs with Eddie Murphy, and we'll see David Copperfield pull off some childhood tricks when Stars Were Kids returns.
Most car manufacturers build their prototypes by hand, but we built the all-new Lumina prototypes on a prototype assembly line. We put it together, took it apart, then redesigned it so we could make it better when it went to production. It took us 18 months. But one thing's certain. There's quality in the build. Something we don't charge extra for. Guess that's what makes it a genuine Chevrolet.
Did you know that changes in tax laws will affect over 10 million taxpayers this year? At H&R Block, we can help you deal with change. So do what millions of Americans do and trust H&R Block.
Why would 9 out of 10 customers recommend Century 21 to their friends?
Now what we have is a written handshake, and that's the seller service pledge. They promise that I'll do what I say I'm going to do. Century 21 sells more homes.
Century 21, rated #1.
Coming up, a superstar, a singer, and one of the toughest dudes in the world.
Journey into the unknown. NBC Sunday. Greed kills a Terrian.
The Earth is dying.
Now someone must pay.
They're all gonna die.
Earth 2. Then aliens are back. Nothing is what it seems.
You're all so stupid.
Star Wars Mark Hamill on Sequest after Earth 2, NBC Sunday.
Okay, the KFC Value Challenge keeps on rolling. So, have you heard about the new Mega Meals for One at KFC?
No.
Oh, we've been kind of busy. Well, choose your favorite chicken.
Roasted.
Fried. Choose any 3 side dishes like macaroni and cheese, barbecue baked beans, mashed.
Could you pass me a biscuit?
Okay, and how about a delicious dessert?
How much?
$3.99.
For all this?
Yep, $3.99.
I may never cook again.
That's cool.
Easy, Fred.
The new Mega Meal for One at KFC. We challenge anybody to give you more meal for your money.
And heavy, so heavy you will eat. And the people, oh, sizzled like frying meat. Cool time.
Davidoff Cool Water. Your bonus with any $32.50 purchase. Available at Macy's.
Doc, I'm really worried about my fat intake. How can I lower my cholesterol level? I don't know.
If only kids cared about what they ate as much as you do. Well, they don't. That's why there's Lightly 97 hot dogs from Hormel, with only 1 gram of fat and 1 great taste. So, until kids care about what they eat.
Well, I gotta do something about this root beer belly.
Lightly 97 from Hormel, the one to serve.
Go undercover in a scam that's costing you millions at 11.
This eager young roller skater grew up to be a very prominent Republican. He was raised in a traditional Middle American family, and despite some setbacks, he's firmly back in the swing of GOP politics. Is it Newt Gingrich, Dan Quayle, or Gerald Ford? You're right if you guessed Dan Quayle.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowgirls. On second thought, maybe you should. Check this out, partner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champion rodeo barrel rider, Reba McEntire.
Well, it could have happened that way. Born in Oklahoma, Reba lived like a cowgirl. She helped her father work on their ranch, ran barrels at the rodeo, and of course sang. Reba showed performing talent all through school, but she was first discovered as a teenager when she sang the Star-Spangled Banner at the National Rodeo Finals in Oklahoma City. Here's an actual tape of that event.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light when you try to live your life from day to day, but seeing you across the room tonight just gives me away.
After winning a barrel full of awards and selling tons of records, it's clear that trading cows for bows was the right choice for the cowgirl who became a superstar, Reba McEntire. Yeah, I like that. I like that piece. You know, school is a very important time in the life of a comedian. Oh, yeah, because that's when you discover your first audience. Sometimes it's 20 people out in the schoolyard. Sometimes it's 5 people in the classroom. Sometimes you only have 1 fan.
Mark Curry, report to the principal's office immediately.
Oops, I got a command performance. But take a look at this student stand up. Oh.
Good-looking kid. Pert, smart, quick. Walked like a gazelle.
He was so funny, it's like a little Jiminy Cricket.
You wouldn't want to have 20 of Eddies in your class, but 1 was plenty, and it was fun.
If there was ever a kid that stood out, that kid was Eddie Murphy.
There was a Mrs. Leach who used to be the cafeteria monitor, and she was always chasing Eddie. He would jump up on the table and jump down on the table, and Miss Leach would go running behind him. It was like a cartoon, you know, the cat and the mouse, and she'd run behind him, and he'd run in these little crannies.
After escaping the clutches of Mrs. Leach, Eddie eventually moved with his family to a split-level house in the small town of Roosevelt, New York. Eddie saw to it that Roosevelt High was his center stage.
He never went to class. The only thing he used to say, he wanted to learn how to count his money, and that was it.
But before counting his money, Eddie had to earn it. And he did it by working at a shoe store by day and comedy clubs at night.
First time I met Eddie Murphy, he was peeking in my window, the front door window. He came in, he said, Mr. Dixon, can I work here at the club? And I said, you're 18? He said, yeah, I'm 18. I said, well, where's your wheels? He said, they're parked outside. And I said, that kid can't be 18. Well, sure enough, he took off on his wheels. A bicycle.
With the memories of childhood mischief behind him, the last laugh belongs to Eddie Murphy. Who is this little lady with a great big voice? A little bundle of energy, she spent her early years helping out around the house, an activity that helped her grow very close to her mom. A million-dollar talent who sells millions of records. Is it Bonnie Raitt, Winona, or Cyndi Lauper? You were right if you guessed Winona.
You know, Even tough guys have to start out as little guys, like this next star who pumped up his arms so big he calls them pythons because he can crush anything in sight. Anyway, well, the whole world has seen this guy in Speedos, and wouldn't you know, we have him in diapers.
He used to be such a nice boy. He never was a problem. Terry wouldn't harm a fly. So what happened?
Well, that little teeny Hulkster you just saw grew up to become the greatest wrestler of all times, the greatest Hulkamaniac of all times, 5 times heavyweight champion of the world. That's who that little boy became. Check me out, look at that. Little teeny Hulkster, full head of hair, destined for greatness. Check him out, dude. Okay, here's another phase of Hulk Hogan's greatness. When I was 6 years old, my brother Alan was chasing me around the yard because I ate his last cookie in the house. He was twice my size. He was like a giant to me. And you'll see right here, when he caught me, we're struggling for position. Hulk Hogan on the bottom, Hulk Hogan reversing the hold, Hulk Hogan back on top. And just like I beat Andre the Giant, you'll see Hulk Hogan right here, cheap shot him, get their victory, get the 1, 2, 3 right in the backyard in front of the whole neighborhood. And now, finesse of an artiste. Look at that, playing with my eyes closed. I didn't even need to look. Look at those fingers move 1,000 miles a minute. You guys better slow this thing down or you're gonna miss it. I play a pretty mean guitar, brother. But Hulk Hogan could have had it all. Could have been the greatest bowler, man. Could have been another Babe Ruth in the 90s. We all know he's the greatest wrestler. And now the whole world is pushing me towards being the greatest TV and movie star of all time. That's what happened.
Curry's coming down court. He goes right. He goes left. He's at the three-point line. He shoots up. Oh, good. The Knicks win. Yes. You know, when I was a teenager, I used to dream about playing in the NBA. And I was a good shot, too. But the rules committee wouldn't allow my bed on the court. But it's great when a kid can live out a childhood dream. And that can happen, especially if you believe in magic.
Can you imagine that? I am in awe of my kid. He always wanted to be a performer. And I said, go for it, kid. If that's what you want to do, you go for it.
There's true magic behind the career of David Copperfield, and this is the inspirational story of a family dream that spanned 3 generations.
His grandfather, my father, taught him a trick with 4 aces. And he says, one thing you got to do for me is when you get to be big shot, show this trick to the audience. He says, I promise, Grandpa. But his grandfather had passed away, you see, before he became big time.
But the lanky kid from Metuchen, New Jersey kept his word and still performs for millions the trick he was handed down in his living room all those years ago. It was easy to see the spell that the world of magic had cast over David right from the start.
I think he expressed his interest in magic when his mother took him to Macy's around Christmas time. And he saw a magician selling magic tricks and also exhibiting them. And he was in awe. Constantly rehearsing. He does this to this day. And that's the way he is. You know, he's a perfectionist, to a fault sometimes.
But the young illusionist was also an entrepreneur.
David did magic shows for parties with the children at $5 a shot.
In the end, little David Copperfield pulled off his greatest trick of all, fulfilling a family dream and becoming a true hero in his father's eyes.
Talk about tears rolling down your cheek, you know. I'm so damn proud of that kid. So sometimes I get kind of sentimental.
Next, Madonna like you've never seen it before on When Stars Were Kids.
It's time to play our version of the match game. Can you match the names of Bob Newhart, Larry Hagman, and Jack Lemmon with their high school photos? We'll have the answers when Stars Were Kids returns.
I'm a 35-year-old father, and I love my kids. Cereal.
Brave adults express their feelings about life and their love for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Anxiety, embarrassment, guilt. As far as I'm concerned, it's all part of a complete breakfast.
Those crunchy flakes, that delicious frosting, isn't it time you put it all out on the table?
I know, it's embarrassing, even a little childish. And that's just the box.
There's no denying it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
Pardon me.
Wow, that's some breath.
Oh?
I agree. I've enjoyed your breath ever since 96th Street.
Well, thank you very much.
What makes Breath Savers so special?
Sir, it's a pleasure being crammed next to someone like you.
Hey, mind if I have a whiff?
Sure.
Breath Savers, with its cool, minty core, gives you the ultimate fresh breath.
Hello.
Hey, I was standing next to him. We're standing next to him.
Try Breath Savers with the core of confidence.
Cleanse yourself with 100% soap-free and fragrance-free Alpha Hydrox. Treat yourself with a natural Alpha Hydrox solution that can reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Moisturize yourself with products to nurture and protect your beautiful new skin. Save yourself with amazingly effective Alpha Hydrox products under $10 each. Now you know the naked truth about skincare. The cleansers, treatments, and moisturizers of Alpha Hydrox.
Some jobs need a smaller paper towel. Other jobs need a bigger towel. You need Select-A-Size, the bounty you customize. Special smaller sheets. Choose 1, 2, or 3 sheets. As little or as much as you need of the quilted Quicker Picker-Upper that's more durable even on carpets.
The quilted Quicker Picker-Upper.
Select-A-Size, the bounty you customize.
The television event of '95, two-time Oscar winner Sally Field.
You're gonna be all right.
A rare television performance.
Mother, how dare you! How dare you!
Through 7 decades of love and loss, they found a way to stay together.
They're my flesh and blood.
The beloved bestseller comes to NBC, A Woman of Independent Means, Sunday. Tonight, a fertility doctor did the unthinkable. He fathered all of their babies.
God doesn't make babies. I do.
An all-new Law & Order, NBC tonight.
Welcome back to When Stars Were Kids.
Now, here's the solution to our match game. Did you guess which names go with which photos? Take one last look. Here are the answers.
You know, a lot of track stars take up ballet. It helps with them with balance and coordination. In fact, in my neighborhood, you better be a track star if you took up ballet. There's gonna be a lot of people chasing you. Say, you with the tutu, can I talk to you for a minute? Well, I'm gonna tell you something about ballet. You gotta be tough. It's not easy, really. And you gotta have a strong body. And you have to enjoy the spotlight. No wonder it was Madonna's first love. Let me try it. Oh, help, Madonna, help me. Somebody help.
She has become one of the world's biggest pop stars and most controversial provocateurs. Born in this house in Pontiac, Michigan, Madonna Veronica Louise Chacon, or Little Nani as she was called, was a surprisingly typical child.
Madonna was no more a shocker than anyone else growing up. She was very sweet. And if you ask any of the adults in the neighborhood, they all love Madonna.
As her family grew, so did Madonna's need for attention.
She had all these brothers, and it was kind of crazy at their house. We used to put on these little productions, and we would fight who would be the star.
A strict Italian-American Catholic, Madonna's mother wanted to instill good family values in her children. In 1963, Madonna's happy childhood days were shattered when her mother died of breast cancer.
I still see that sadness in her eyes, like she's missing something.
With hopes of starting anew, Madonna's father moved the family across town to Rochester Hills. Now in high school, the Madonna we've all come to know began to take shape. She appeared in school plays and joined the cheerleading squad, which led to her true love, dance. If you watch this rare footage closely, you can see the artistry that has become Madonna. Her dancing talent earned her a scholarship to the University of Michigan.
Madonna and I were in the same ballet class, which met 8 a.m. in the morning. She did her 100 sit-ups before class and was always there on time, ready to go. She was very dramatic as a dancer. She was very dedicated to her art and her craft. A lot to be said for dancers with chutzpah.
Madonna is living proof that the key to success is believing in yourself. She summed it all up when she made her national TV debut on American Bandstand.
What are your dreams? What's left?
To rule the world.
Well, she may not rule the world yet, but the whole world knows the name Madonna. Is this future superstar Barry Bonds, Darryl Strawberry, or Michael Jordan? You were right if you guessed that it's basketball and baseball's Michael Jordan.
All right. There we go. Good, 5. I was raised in the city of Oakland, California, but our next star grew up down on the farm. You know, a place with no modern conveniences, lots of hard work, miles away from civilization. The closest thing we had to that was Alcatraz. But the farm boy I'm talking about went to Hollywood, sort of Green Acres in reverse. And here's a clue. Although he never had a pig named Arnold, he knows lots of people by that name.
This is the story of a normal, typical farm boy from Ottumwa, Iowa, who loved animals, board games, and sitting in water. The hard-working lad with the big smile mowed lawns, babysat, and had a paper route. Your normal, typical farm boy from Ottumwa, Iowa. At the age of 5, he was telling jokes. By 7, he was singing Puff the Magic Dragon on the family swing set. At 9, he had finally moved to the big time, singing at family weddings. This fascination with entertaining led our normal, typical farm boy from the fields of Ottumwa, Iowa, to the field of comedy.
My life has changed so much the last couple of years. I rode down here in a limousine, and I'm used to being in the back seats of cars, but it's nice without the handcuffs on, I'll tell you.
There you are, your normal, typical farm boy from Ottumwa, Iowa, Tom Arnold.
All right. You know, they say the key to a happy childhood is knowing that your parents love you. Well, I know my parents love me because they would thank the Lord about me every day. I would always hear them saying, thank God that that boy is not a twin. Thank God that that boy is not a twin. Thank you. Anyway, maybe I wasn't a perfect kid, but here's somebody who was. And she seemed to have that perfect childhood, too. In fact, it was almost like a fairy tale.
Once upon a time in a faraway land called Paris, a beautiful little girl was born to a very happy mom and dad. They called her their love child because she was so sweet. Do you know who she is?
Thank heaven for little girls. 4 little girls get bigger every day. Thank heaven for little girls. They grow up in the most delightful way. Thank heaven, thank heaven, thank heaven for little girls.
Have you guessed yet?
Thank heaven for little girls.
Don't you just love happy endings? Well, as you all know by now, the little girl with the storybook life is Kathy Lee Gifford. Now, Kathy Lee credits her parents with all that childhood happiness. And because she knows that they're watching tonight, she has a special message just for them.
All I know is that I certainly wouldn't be sitting where I am today and experiencing the kind of success that I've had over the years if it weren't for the fact that you two people supported me all these years. You never did miss a free meal or a free ticket anywhere. And I'm so glad for that. You've been with me all along. Daddy used to say to me, honey, find something you love to do and then figure out a way to get paid for it. Thank you so much for teaching me the right way to go and for always being there for me. I love you very much.
When we come back, Bruce Willis as the big man on campus and Hillary Rodham, BC, before Clinton.
These two kids grew up, met, and fell in love. Are they Clint and Lisa Hartman Black, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, or Al and Tipper Gore? Find out when Stars Were Kids continues.
Okay, the KFC Value Challenge keeps on rolling. So, have you heard about the new Mega Meals for One at KFC?
No.
Oh, we've been kind of busy.
Well, here. Choose your favorite chicken.
Roasted.
Fried.
Choose any 3 side dishes like macaroni and cheese, barbecue baked beans, mashed...
Could you pass me a biscuit?
Okay, and how about a delicious dessert?
I may never cook again.
That's cool.
Easy, Fred.
The new Mega Meal for One at KFC. We challenge anybody to give you more meal for your money. Okay, Daddy's turn to eat. Mommy said, try Crispix. It doesn't get soggy in milk. Yeah, Mommy is funny. Okay, so it starts crispy. Big deal, huh? Well, like childhood, this won't last.
Kellogg's Crispix cereal. Delicious corn and rice that stays crispy to the end.
Last bite. This should be mushy enough for you. Hey, it's still crispy. You're gonna love this stuff. Of course, you're gonna need teeth first. That means orthodontist.
We changed the way you saw the world. Now we've made a world of changes. Introducing the new Ford Explorer, the only leading sport utility with standard dual airbags. The only one with control track 4-wheel drive for instant traction control automatically. Plus an engine that lets you go 100,000 miles before your first tune-up. The new Ford Explorer. Far and away, the best the world has to offer.
Coming up, 2 of America's most famous action heroes when stars were kids.
Guess who's giving marital advice to the Fresh Prince?
It's a lit out, Weezy.
It's the Jeffersons.
We tied the knot 40 years ago, and I've been swinging from it ever since.
All the Fresh Prince, NBC Monday.
Monday, Vinny's come back.
I'm hoping there's still a chance for us.
Now Blossom must choose between her future and the man she loves.
Oh, my God.
A powerful new Blossom, NBC Monday.
The brand. In the West, it's the way a man marks what's his. We're the beef people, and our WD brand is on every steak we sell. It means our U.S. choice beef has been specially aged and trimmed to ensure more flavor, more tender, juicy beef. WD brand, the mark of quality from Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
Taking care of business.
Hey, looking for great office furniture? Come see what's new at Office Depot. Lots of new style. The kind you'd find in those expensive specialty stores, but at Office Depot, you're guaranteed low prices every day. Ooh, nice wood. What is this, maple? Oak. That's a good tree.
Taking care of business.
Buy your office furniture at Office Depot. They guarantee delivery next business day.
Thank you. It's here. And buffalo wings.
There's something new from Pizza Hut.
I'm not eating any buffalo's wings. Buffaloes are an endangered species.
If
they're endangered, why are we eating them?
Well, not...
My dad's back is hairy like a buffalo.
Thanks for sharing.
How do they fly with these little wings?
They don't fly at all.
Thanks to people like you, Dad.
Buffalo wings, hot or mild, either way, just $4 for a dozen delicious wings.
Tastes just like chicken.
Thank you.
You'll love the stuff we're made of.
Hear what O.J.'s lifelong friend has to say on a 1-900 line. Al Cowling's story at 11.
The identity of our romantic couple? Is it Clint and Lisa Hartman Black, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, or Al and Tipper Gore? You are correct if you guessed Clint and Lisa Hartman Black.
This is fun, isn't it? Look at this, you guys. Look. Remember this screen? This is the kind of screen they would show you movies in school like Personal Hygiene and You. And how come you were always taught personal hygiene by the gym teacher? A man who wore the same dirty sweatshirt and tennis shoes every day. But if you were in this class in New Jersey in 1975, you might have sat next to a young boy who loved sports, cars, girls, Bachman Turner Overdrive, girls. He was dreaming of being in the movies, not watching them. Did I mention girls? Check this out.
For nearly a century, the DuPont plant has employed hundreds of thousands of people from the town of Carneys Point, New Jersey. But there was one brash young native who decided early on he would take care of business somewhere else.
Bruce drew a lot of attention. He was a jokester, anything for a laugh.
I remember Bruce had a lisp, and later he also stuttered. Kids can be mean, so perhaps they taunted him or teased him, and maybe that was part of his character building.
With his lisp and stutter behind him, Bruce Willis went to Pennsgrove High with a newfound confidence. With his magnetic charm, he became student council president, homecoming king, clearly the big man on campus.
Taking care of business. Woo! Taking care of business.
One time we had a particularly difficult test, and I like to pass the test out and give them to each student and maybe make a few comments. And when I got to Bruce's desk, I put his paper down and said, Bruce, look, you got to do better than this. And he looked at the grade. He said, oh, Mr. Renner, it doesn't bother me. Pennsgrove's not going to hold me.
Happy trails, Hans.
Nobody takes care of business quite like former class clown, Bruce Willis.
Hey, I'm back. This next segment is about Hillary Clinton, a little girl who grew up in the White House on Elm Street, a really safe place to live. She's now in the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue, a really dangerous place to live. Here's her story.
Hillary Rodham Clinton, famous the world over as the First Lady, was once known only as the Rodham's baby girl. As a child, she actually wanted to be an astronaut. And while she hasn't walked on the moon yet, she has left an impressive trail. From the beginning, people paid attention to her.
Hillary was a kind of a hard little nut to crack because she would be so interested in doing exactly the perfect thing. And she was independent. She didn't come up to me and kind of apple polish me, you know, to get things done. She just got right down to business and did her very best. She was like a magnet. Girls would be more interested in being her friend.
Park Ridge, Illinois is more than just a good place to shop. It's the conservative Republican suburb outside Chicago where Hillary grew up. In high school, Hillary was known for her extracurricular activities and for being a strong supporter of the student dress code. Of course, there were disappointments.
The first time I really got involved with Hillary in something was when we were both cast in the Bye Bye Birdie number, the telephone hour in our annual V show. And Mr. Chastain, the faculty advisor, pulled Hillary and me aside and he said, listen, you guys are great, you're animated, but would you do me a favor and just lip sync?
Hillary wisely switched from theater to politics.
In our senior year, we really got to move from student council to the real world of politicking and campaigning when a small number of us were recruited to be Goldwater girls. Now this meant, we sat down in our basements and we made these sashes and then got our Goldwater girl outfits ready to go on the campaign trail. And whenever Barry Goldwater came through Chicago or through parts of Illinois, we'd go and be there as his presence and really rev up the crowds with our campaigning.
Now here's another example of a tough guy who didn't start out tough.
This young boy grew up on the plains of Oklahoma. He didn't have much money, but he did have lots of love. His mother taught him values while she worked at the laundromat to keep food on the table. The young man was forced to earn his pocket money by collecting pop bottles from the side of the road. This future action star was really a shy, quiet boy who didn't have a lot of athletic ability, but he made up for it with an active imagination.
As a youngster, I used to fantasize a lot. We didn't have money for toys, so I would use clothespins, Mom's clothespins that she'd hang her clothes up outside. I would do these little fight scenes and imagine me kicking guys in the air.
But those kicks didn't start for real until Chuck Norris joined the military. Shipped to Korea, he studied the martial arts and became the national karate champion, a record 6 times in a row. The undefeated champion then went on to a series of blockbuster movie roles. Not bad for a shy kid with no athletic ability.
It doesn't matter how good you are, it's how bad you want it, and that's the key thing in life.
It's time for part 2 of the When Stars Were Kids honor roll. And here are some more of our celebrated students. David Letterman. Tina Turner. Harrison Ford. Susan Sarandon. Spike Lee. Kim Basinger. Sharon Stone. And Paul Rubens, alias Pee Wee Herman.
To perfect the all-new 1995 Monte Carlo, we spent countless hours adjusting the audio controls. You see, Monte Carlo was designed from the inside out to be your own personal space, so every interior detail had to be in harmony. Paying attention to something as small as the texture of a control is what makes Monte Carlo seem more like, say, a $40,000 car than one that costs half that much. Which also makes the new Monte Carlo a genuine Chevrolet.
For every unbearable chill, for every wrenching cough, every fever, every ache, every miserable congestion, it's got to be Theraflu every time. From your bad cold to your worst flu, maximum strength Theraflu delivers serious relief in soothing hot liquid or new non-drowsy caplets. When it's not just a cold, it's got to be Theraflu. Hot liquid or new non-drowsy caplets.
I always knew Monistat 7 cream cured my yeast infection at night. Now my doctor tells me the same cream relieves external itching during the day. No wonder Monistat is the #1 choice of women, the #1 recommendation of doctors.
Don't wait. Reducing cholesterol by just 10% before age 40 could cut your risk of heart disease by 50%. The Johnson & Johnson Advanced Care Cholesterol Test gives you your number accurately at home. So what are you waiting for?
Super low airfares. Everyone wants them, but how many people really get them?
Is 1 seat per flight enough?
Is it even worth calling? Dateline investigates next.
All right. When you hear people tell stories about rich kids who use their money and connections to gain political power, it's for sure they're not talking about the next group of boys. Every one of them pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps and followed their dreams. Watch.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Did you ever have a teacher tell you that you could be anything you want to be? That you could even run for the President of the United States? Well, these 6 little boys must have listened to their teacher.
Well, we've seen a lot of great stories, photos, home movies tonight, and we'd like to say thank you to all the stars who let us share in their personal memories. And as we say goodnight, we're going to take one more look back at some of our group. And you might notice that a lot of them really haven't changed that much. Maybe that's what makes them stars in the first place, because there's something about their
Broadcasting on 214 affiliate stations nationwide, you're watching the NBC television network. Now, Dateline NBC.